Wisdom means actually seeing things as they are and being able to leverage that. So if you know, for instance, that you don't have to believe in gravity, but if you jump up, you will come down. So you have to understand how wisdom is important. So you're not spending all your time trying to get hang time. It's just not going to happen. And if you know that if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, we call that insanity. So there has to be some observation, some reflection on, okay, that worked, that didn't work. How do I get what didn't work to work? And how do I continue to grow and evolve? So if I want to do something, let's take, if I want to learn how to play the piano, keyboards, there has to be some kind of wisdom mechanism or some kind of feedback mechanism so you can correct errors. And it's helpful if you realize that errors or mistakes are part of it. They're not separate. Because you make mistakes doesn't mean you'll never be able to do it. It just means you have to use the mistake to do more learning and training, more skill development, that sort of thing. So wisdom is what it's all about. Because if you don't know, especially if you talk about terms of who you are, and once again, if we use music, you play keyboards, so there's going to be somebody you emulate. Not sure who it is. Could be Nat King Cole, could be McCoy Tyner, it could be a lot of different people. It could be Mozart, it could be Beethoven or whatever. But at some point, you got to make it your own. So we emulate people, then we have to be ourselves. So I would say the huge part of this is about self-knowledge. You got to know thyself so you can be thyself, so you can express thyself, so you can share thyself. So it's really that simple. I don't care who you are. Authenticity, spontaneity has to do with being authentic, being who you are supposed to be. And because we have a uniqueness, it's very, very challenging to be your unique self and not be like other people want you to be, or to emulate this person and try to be like that person and not be yourself. And there's a reason why that it's more readily available to be somebody else or to be some pseudo self than to be yourself. Because when we have freedom, we talked about freedom, or when you have self-expression, one side of the coin is freedom, the other side is anxiety or not knowing or uncertainty. And Kierkegaard called this he called it the alarming possibility of being able. So there's a part of us when we have this tremendous freedom, that the not knowing, the anxiety of not knowing, and also we have ideas of who we think we are versus who we really are. And so if there's a disconnect between who we think we are versus who we are, then that creates inner conflict, or it creates tension inside. So we become, we have conflict. It's just conflict between who we say we are. And here's the interesting thing. Who I am today is not going to be who I am tomorrow, because everything's changing. I'm going to change. And so that being is a moving target. And so a lot of the time we want permanence, but in an impermanent world. And the fact is we're all evolving and changing. And even the cells of our body are changing every 7 years and stuff like that. So the wisdom is really important because it's the antidote to ignorance. And it's also the way to freedom, the way to peace, the way to love.